Welcome to The Vault, where we reveal some of the best kept secrets for success. Our show is designed to introduce you to industry professionals in TV, movies, music, sports, and business. Now, our goal is to learn from a wealth of information and use it to realize your dreams. Today's guest is an Emmy-nominated producer and entertainment correspondent for popular shows like Access Hollywood, E! News, and Today. Beyond that, she's also an author, speaker, and expert in mind, body, soul wellness. Introducing Laura Saltman.
All right.
So, first of all, lead us through your backstory. I know you started off in entertainment news. Kind of lead us through your journey and tell us how you got into it, what you had to do, moving from one part of the country to the other, and then the pinnacle of that journey in entertainment news.
Yeah, so I started as a producer at Access Hollywood, and I was there for maybe 6 years, and then I left and I went to the Today Show for a little bit, and then I moved to New York, I came back to LA, I was working at some talk shows with Sharon Osbourne and Ryan Seacrest. And then I decided to go back to Access Hollywood, and within maybe like 6-7 months, they came to me and asked me if I would start doing podcasts, which back then people were doing video podcasts on Apple, and that was like the cool new thing. And then podcasts sort of went away, and now they're like the hottest thing ever, audio podcast. And in that time, I was able to transition from a producer to an on-camera person. I was the very first, this is like a crazy fact, but I was the very first ever digital correspondent like in the history of any national show. I think ABC News followed soon after, but I really was pushing for digital. So that was my title. I was the digital correspondent. I had this thing called Dish of Salt. They called me the Dish.
Give us some more stories on the carpet, some things that maybe people may not know that you experienced while working on the red carpets.
That's a great question, because people think the red carpet is like super fun all the time, and let me tell you, it's not. In the beginning, I think it's fun and it's exciting, and your adrenaline's going, and you're getting to, meet all these celebrities. And then the more you're into it, the more you're just like, you get smushed in with all these people, and sometimes you don't even get to talk to the celebrities. When I started in entertainment, there were, 5 or 6 crews on every red carpet for every event, movies, premieres, things like that. When I left entertainment, there were 50. It started with CNN and Access Hollywood and Extra and ET and E, and then it expanded to all of those, plus every digital outlet in the world. And so it just became more and more and more crowded as you went along. And so it's definitely like an effort in finding, you have to be a size 2 just so you can fit on the red carpet behind the little stanchions that they put you in.
Uh-huh. Well, it's funny because I was actually looking through some old pictures when I was working on carpets. And I know you now, but I didn't know you then. And I actually found you in some of those videos and photos where you were like next to me. And I remember the event.
Really?
It was specifically, it was X Factor. And we were interviewing One Direction. And they were, it's right before they broke up. And they had this song called Song of My Life or something. I can't remember the name of it. But you were working next to me, like 2 people away. And so we waited for you. And then I was next in the pecking order.
That's perfect. That's The universe puts everybody together. And so you and I were meant to meet. And then we did meet several years later. I was so blessed to be in that business and to work the red carpet. I've been to the Golden Globes 15 times. I've been to the Oscars 5 or 6 or 7 times, the Emmys probably 20 times. And I love all of that. But as I grew up and evolved in the business, it just didn't hold the same meaning to me anymore, probably because I did it so many times. And after my brother passed away from stomach cancer, I just sort of, it's perspective. You gain perspective about what life is truly about. And I started realizing that it wasn't my journey anymore to be in entertainment. And I just went looking for a different path in life. And I still love entertainment. I love television. I'm still in television. I work on a couple of different shows that air on Lifetime. I just became the creative director of a new digital streaming network. And so TV is probably my first love, but what I'm doing now is definitely so much more impactful and important.
I agree. So let us know you know, what, where did you hit rock bottom? I mean, obviously your brother passing away to most people would be the rock bottom, but it actually, things went from bad to worse. Could you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, to say the least, they went from bad to worse. So it went from my brother had cancer, and then my dad was very distraught, and he was struggling with mental illness, and obviously losing his son did not help. And so he passed away. He actually took his own life about a year and a half after my brother died. And then in the interim, I was dealing with some infertility. I had 2 miscarriages. I'm sure a lot of the stress of losing my brother and my dad was part of that. I've been trying to adopt, and I had a bunch of adoption situations that fell apart. And I would say like the final straw was probably a baby that we were set to adopt. The birth parents changed their mind on the day she was born, and we were about to get on a plane.
Uh,
And that was probably like where I honestly, I didn't get out of bed for 3 days. I was so like angry at the universe. I was just like, why are you doing this to me? And I felt like all the signs and the messages were saying like, no, this is your baby. This is good. Everything's good. You've been through enough now. We're going to give you your, a beautiful gift. And that gift got taken away. In fact, you and I were having, I don't know if you remember, but we were with Sean Robinson, and we were having breakfast. And I was talking about that I was about to adopt. And I said the name of the baby was going to be Jade. And when I ordered a tea and she brought me the tea, and we have a picture of it, of me, you took it. You took that picture, and the name of the tea was Jade Tea. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is like a sign. This is my baby for sure. And then it just all went awry. And so that's when I really was like, F the universe. This is BS. And so, you know what? I'm so used to doing like CNN and MSNBC that I can't swear.
F
so,
it, man. F it. Go ahead.
I feel like on
all
Instagram
good.
it's cool, but for me, it's like if I go back to the old habit of using those words, they'll kick me off
It's all
of
good.
CNN. So
It's all good. It's all good.
but I just was angry. And so from that anger, it's like, I always say, like, you don't go searching for meaning until you do hit rock bottom, until you need answers, until life just sucks everything out of you. And that was where I was. And before that, I had like a pretty amazing life. Like I had lots of great boyfriends. I was married at the time. I, was on the red carpets. Before that, I was going to all these amazing things. Like my life was really good. And so it was just in this span of like 4 or 5 years that it just really went down south.
Hold on. Take us through, like, once again, you defined your rock bottom. How did you overcome those challenges?
Well, first it was recognizing that you need to get help. I actually talked to somebody who yesterday who was struggling with his dad had passed away and his mom. So now he's like 39 years old and he's basically an orphan. And he is at that rock bottom. And he asked me the same question. And I was like, well, you have to want to change. You have to want to transform. You have to want to get better. And I wanted to. I didn't want to stay stuck. I didn't want to be miserable. I had a little baby at the time. My son, I think, was 3 or 4. And I was like, this is who I live for. This is who I get up every morning for. And I want to fix this, and I want to get better, and I want to be happy. And so from that point, I had to figure out what was going to help me and how was I going to transform myself. And I've been doing it every day since. It's been probably 3.5, 4 years of working on myself. And I'm like one of the happiest people in the world right now, but I still, every day, I still have my daily practice of studying and working on my thought process. And because we're all here learning and growing, and nobody's going to have a perfect life. If you have a perfect life, you're lying.
Yeah, there's no such thing. So tell us now, you're into coaching now, and you're also an author. So lead us in that progression, coaching first, and then like the success you've gotten as an author, because it's pretty amazing. I wouldn't
be able to coach anybody if I hadn't written 3 books about how to transform your life. So that sort of came from that. And when you want to change, that's when the right person will come to you. There's that famous quote, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so people just sort of appear in my life who need help. A lot of people struggle, obviously, with depression and suicidal thoughts. And because my dad committed suicide, and actually my brother's best friend as well, and I myself have struggled with depression. And so I think like attracts like, and those type of people end up finding me. So I've had a lot of people that I've, you know, been trying to help in that sense. I mean, to be honest, I've gotten phone calls at 2 a.m. from, you know, people who are suicidal that are like, I need help. I need help. And, you know, I help them as best I can, and I give them the tools. And sometimes I send them to a psychologist, but I am always offering the tools that I know worked for me to help people, and that I believe can help anybody who's willing. And the books have transformed my life completely, how I look at the world, how I view the world. You know, I know it's like that age-old question, why are we all here? I know why we're all here now. Like, and what's the meaning of life?
Why? I need to know why. Tell me why. I don't know why.
You don't know why? The reason we're all
No,
here
I know why,
is,
but maybe other people don't know. You tell me why you feel we're all here.
So the reason that we are all here is we believe that we are humans and we just are this physical body. And a lot of people are actually waking up and understanding that we're not just our physical bodies, we're also this metaphysical body, this energy body. And that's what you would call your soul, right? And so we tend to live our lives from the outside in, where we believe that this physical part of us is how we should be living our life. And actually, we are meant to be living our life from the inside out, from our soul out to our physical body, living from the soul. We're here to grow and evolve our soul. And so that is why our lives can be seemingly difficult, because we have all these different lessons that we're here to learn, whether it's patience, humility, we're here to learn about masculinity, femininity, worthiness. Worthiness is a big one, and social media has had a huge impact on our lessons of worthiness. So when you start to recognize your soul and you pay attention more to what it's trying to tell you through your thoughts and emotions, you can live an easier journey in your body that you're currently in.
So you've created these 3 books in a very short amount of time. I mean, like, you're like just you're on fire. I want to know, like, now you're like promoting the books, and have you started to see, you know, an audience build, and what are you finding from that?
Yeah, so the books were written, I always say, it's like, you know how you go to if you've ever been to jury duty and you sit and you watch the court reporters and they just sit and they listen to whatever the person is saying, that's how I wrote my books. I didn't stop. I literally just listened. It's sort of like presented in a question and answer format, because I'm a journalist, which makes sense. So I ask questions. And so it was like, ask a question, get an answer, ask a question, get an answer. I never stopped. I would write these books, and the first one was written in probably 2 months, and the second one was written in 3 months. The third one took longer, and the reason the third one took longer is I was so busy promoting the first 2 that my time wasn't as I just didn't have as much time. So and then from that, it's like I get all these inspired things that come to me that I have to be doing. And I started a newsletter, and very quickly my newsletter started to grow. And, you know, I just write like the things I hear and the quotes that come out of me and the musings and things from my book. And I will tell you, I get emails all the time, like almost once a day, from somebody who's on my newsletter saying like, thank you for this. You transformed my life. And, you know, like all of it is resonating with people. And like, that's why I do it. I mean, that's why I put myself out there, because some of the stuff is very personal. Not, you know, people aren't comfortable talking about suicide and depression. And I'm like, I talk about those things because I know that people are going through that stuff, and I know what worked to help me. And my mission is to serve and to help people fix that within themselves. But I always say now, somebody can give you the key, but you have to use that key. So you can listen to a million self-help books and read everything that there is in the library, but unless you use the tools and you use that key, you're not gonna be able to heal.
That makes sense. So our segment, as you know, our show is called The Vault, and one of our major questions is, what secret of success do you have that lives in the vault?
Yeah. Okay, so here's the biggest secret. And I don't know, you hear a lot about manifestation. Have you heard that word before, manifestation? Okay.
Of course.
So if you want to create success in your life, you have to see it in your mind's eye. Okay. So what I was saying earlier is that we tend to live from the outside in, when we have to live from the inside out. And so if you want to create anything in your life, you have to first see it in your mind's eye, your pineal gland, whatever you want to call it. see it. Like, and some people are like, well, I can't see things in my mind's eye. And I'm like, no, that's BS. You actually can. If I tell you to picture a rainbow right now. Do you see it? Okay.
Yeah.
So when you picture the rainbow, now I want you to picture the success that you want to have, whatever it is, whether you're an actor, a singer, a model, an entrepreneur, whatever that vision is that you want to create, you have to see it in your mind's eye first. So for me, it's, I want to be a speaker. I want to be on stages. So I picture myself on a stage, or I want to sit with Oprah Winfrey on Super Soul Sunday. So I picture myself with Oprah sitting under the oak trees on Super Soul Sunday. Number two is you have to feel what it feels like to be in that moment. So when you see it, when you see yourself, you know, up there winning an Oscar, it's not just you standing there. It's you need to feel with every fiber of your being what it feels like to win that Oscar, that Emmy, to make that movie, to be a success, to create that invention. And the reason we see these things in the first place, and this is number three, this is the most important element. Yes, thank you. You have to know that it's already been created. So in the realm of the metaphysical world, everything that's ever going to happen or ever has happened has already happened. It all just is. Everything is. Like my books are all about all is. Everything already is. And so you have to live from that knowing that whatever it is that you're seeing in your mind's eye, you're feeling in your body, is because it already existed. Somewhere it's happening. And so you have to connect your three dots. You have to see it, you have to feel it, and you have to be it. And then when you can create all of that and get rid of the fear, which is what keeps us for everything at bay with us, that's when those manifestations will happen for you. That's how I got on television, because when I was a child, I knew it. I knew that I had something in me where I was going to be on television. Whenever I would watch like Entertainment Tonight, I would feel what it felt like to be Mary Hart or to be, you know, the people that were on there. And then I did everything I could action-wise to say, no matter when somebody told me I couldn't do it, I was like, no, I'm going to be an entertainment reporter. I'm going to be an entertainment reporter. So I just did whatever action steps I thought were going to work for me. Now, it took me a long time, and that's because fear is our biggest stopping point. We always get those doubts in our mind. And I guess maybe that's the fourth step, is to get rid of the fear. So we get these doubts in our mind, and people say, like, oh, you know, you can't do that, or no, you know, there's too many entertainment reporters. There's too many people doing what you're doing. And then you keep all of that stuff at bay because of that fear. So you have to move that out of there and say, I can be whatever I see in my mind because I know it already exists for me. Does that make sense?
I love it. I feel like I've gotten a lot of wisdom.
Secret. That is the secret.
Yeah, you've given us some great ones, and I think that you know, this is just the beginning. I would love to have you on again. I think that there's a lot of stuff that you have that you could teach the masses, and I'm looking so forward to seeing your next book. And you know, I know you're looking into maybe doing some more shows. Where can people find you on the internet? Where can they find your social media? Give us all that information.
The other day I heard in my like metaphysical voice, success comes at a price. So as I get more successful, it's because all these things are like happening. I have no more time anymore. But my next book is coming out in February. My other two books, it's called The All Books, The All of Everything, The All of The All. They're out on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And then the next one, The All That Is coming out in February. But I just signed on to be the creative director of a new digital streaming network called Well World TV. It's all about mind, body, soul health. And so we're going to start doing a Facebook Live show every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern called Well World TV Live, where we'll be interviewing people in the wellness space, everything from vegan chefs to holistic practitioners. So you can find me on that Well World TV page. Of course, I'm on Instagram at Laura Saltman. And then if you really want to get like deep into the all, you can go to my Wisdom of the All page, and you can sign up for my newsletter. I kind of give these like I don't even know what I would call them, channeled messages that are like really like deep and intense. And so you can follow that. And I mean, I do speaking. I don't know. I'm so busy. I also have a couple of shows that on Lifetime called Designing Spaces and The Balancing Act that I do segments for them. So I still do TV. And I think it's great because I was able to somehow manage to put both my TV career and my author career and merge them together into this Well World TV platform. So how cool is that I was somehow able to merge them both when I thought I would never be able to be on TV ever again.
Well, you're definitely a testament of manifesting your dream. We'd love to say once again, thank you so much for being on our show, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye, Laura. Thank you.
I love it. The vault.
The vault.
I love it.
Thank
you.
Love
that you did that.
Fist bump.
All
Let's do a fist bump right here, virtual, right? Bam. All right, later.
Bye. Love you. I was thinking maybe someone should do a movie about you. Would you agree? Yeah. Maybe where they steal the Stanley Cup and you get it back for them, right? That's a thumbs up right there. Okay. So, is there anything anybody here? One being Luke, two being a celebrity. Who are you most excited? Who do you think is going to win this all today? That's right. Very good. High five.